Hello and welcome to this edition of UCentral News. I'm Patrick Talbot.
And I'm Jackson Rowbottom. Many students, faculty, and staff are still reeling from the UCO budget forum. One of the areas of concern is the increase in costs that will soon affect students. Here's what UCentral's Shannon Schwa found.
Following the budget forum on the 24th of March, UCO will be going through a couple changes in the near future, mainly program and faculty eliminations, as well as increase in tuition. The email sent out by the Office of the President states that there will be an increase of $6.82 per credit hour. That's $81.84 per semester if you're enrolled in 12 credit hours, which is the minimum amount of credit hours for a full-time student in the undergraduate level.
We've done a lot of switching to the online classes, and that's been a cheaper format for everyone, and it's been, I think, more convenient for people in the long run, but I also feel like the university maybe lost out on a lot of that because of the fact that the online classes are cheaper, and they're losing out on that rate for the in-person classes. But I don't know that the $82 increase is going to be much of a difference compared to that, because I still think people will take the online class option.
I think it's just a way for the school to get some money back because of the giant budget cuts they're making. Not to mention the $15 million redesign they're doing at the stadium. All the teachers are having to lay off, and I just think it's ridiculous, honestly.
Honestly, the increase, I understand why they want to increase, because they want to increase the funding for its own school and their own staff members to stay in campus. But at the same time, increasing the budget does not help the students whatsoever. It's already expensive as it is, especially when we start to come back from the COVID quarantine, and a lot of people are slowly starting to go back to work. But as of right now, I don't think it's a good idea to increase the budget.
From Edmond, Oklahoma, I'm Shannon Schwa, UCentral News.
Thanks, Shannon. And it has been quite a rainy past few days. We're starting to get that April showers. Hopefully that leads to May flowers.
Yeah, no kidding. And I know we got rocked last night with rain, but we're going to take it over to CJ now, who tells us more about the rain. CJ, what do you have for us in weather?
That's right, you guys. It definitely has been a very wild week here in Oklahoma. We definitely have had a lot of April showers, and hopefully that'll translate into May flowers come next month. But for right now, sitting here in Edmond at about 60 degrees under rainy conditions. Now, this rain is going to be pretty sporadic throughout the evening. They're going to be isolated storms, not a big line of storms coming through. So this rain is going to be very off and on again throughout the night. Let's go ahead and take a look at the winds blowing east at about 10 miles per hour. Now, that wind's going to stay pretty steady for the majority of the night. However, we could see some gusts of about 20 to 25 miles per hour as well. The humidity, on the other hand, sitting at about 80%. And I'm a big old boy. I got some big hair, and I'm definitely feeling that humidity effects today here in Edmond. So my locks definitely aren't having a lot of that humidity today. But it does feel like it's 58 degrees here in Edmond. So overall, a very drizzly, very gray afternoon here in Edmond. Let's go ahead and take a look at our weather headlines coming up for this week. For next week, we are going to see lots of wind and sun in the forecast. That wind is going to pick up with a line of storms that's going to make its way through the state over the next couple of days. And with that line of storms, it's also going to bring some cooler temperatures for a majority of the state here in Oklahoma. But with that, going into next week, after we get through most of the cooler temps, we are going to return to our normal springtime temperatures of about 70s or 80s. So guys, that's all I have for weather right now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you very much, CJ. And now an update for the situation in Ukraine. President Zelensky called for the end of Russian war crimes. A mass grave was found in the town of Bucha. The alleged war crimes of Putin now has leaders across the world calling for investigations and sanctions against Russia.
And here in the U.S., prices continue to skyrocket at grocery stores and at the pump. UCentral's Micah Chandler spoke with an economic expert on what this means for you. Here's what she found.
Gas has reached $4 per gallon here in Edmond and is expected to continue rising. Some may feel uneasy at the sudden shift in our economy, but Chris Chandler, a senior investment strategist from Wells Fargo, has some tips on what this might mean for our wallets.
Yeah, and I think the invasion of Ukraine came sort of as an unexpected event to the markets. Markets never like things that are unexpected.
With Ukraine being a key exporter of grain, gas prices aren't the only thing where prices are expected to rise. Restaurants and grocery stores selling wheat and grain products are also likely to become more expensive.
Keep in mind that these tend to be short-term events, and long-term we would believe that inflation will come down ultimately.
Like Chris Chandler said, we can expect these prices to go down. The question of when they will is still uncertain, but it is likely to end once the invasion of Ukraine has stopped. From Edmond, Oklahoma, I'm Micah Chandler, UCentral News.
Thank you, Micah. And Eden attorney Stephen Jones has refiled his lawsuit seeking to stop a special election to fill U.S. Senator Jim Inhofe's seat. Inhofe announced his retirement this year. Jones says it is unconstitutional to fill the seat before it is truly vacated, as Inhofe could withdraw his resignation at any time. And we will continue to update you as we learn more.
And here, the Oklahoma City Thunder held its first ever Thunder Legacy Network weekend. UCentral's Jonathan Richardson has a story.
The Oklahoma City Thunder goes unscripted, a showcase where local photographers were handpicked to capture the live experiences of fans at Thunder games throughout this season.
Just like a little memory board. And at the end, once everybody's done, just return this to me and I'll give you guys a gift back.
This CD player was the tour guide. Guests were able to listen to each photographer give a more detailed scoop into the making of their photos and a little bit of their identity. Danique Nashe explains how all of her previous work prepared her for this exclusive opportunity.
I've always had a camera in my hand. I've always liked tech and designing and creating stuff. So once I got older, I decided to get a degree in it.
The Thunder organization may never know how they have opened doors for these photographers.
I was surprised when I was chosen, but also not surprised, because I was like, you know what I'm saying, you gotta recognize your own talent. Honor in itself, just because, this is y'all first event, and I'm one of the photographers that y'all decided to bring on to, push the envelope with y'all photography, especially with it being sports. So it was a very surreal moment, but I was ready.
This is the start of more opportunities for photographers in the Metro. It will only grow from here. From the Paycom Center, I'm Jonathan Richardson, UCentral News.
Thank you, Jonathan. UCO's Department of Kinesiology and Health Studies invites the Central community to attend the Through the Lens of My Experience Expo. This event will focus on UCO's community resilience, incite reflection upon, and inspire hope as we move ahead through the pandemic. This event will be from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. April 19th at Plunkett Park.
That's right. And coming up after the break, we'll take a look at what's going on in the Melton Gallery. Plus, CJ will have his full forecast after the break. Stay tuned.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah! Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at SheCanSTEM.
In the land of wonder and awe, you won't believe you see what you saw. Where there's something to do for young and for old, where stories are written and then they're retold. Visit Travelok.com today. Come see for yourself and come out to play.
Welcome back. And there's a lot happening at the Melton Gallery here on campus. Let's see what's happening as UCentral's Tristan Pipkin checked it out.
With spring approaching, the Melton Gallery is hosting a showcase displaying art of all kinds, from faces, objects, and animals.
The Young Talent in Oklahoma Showcase is a celebration of work by high school students throughout the state of Oklahoma. It's sponsored by the Oklahoma Art Education Association, and it's basically a competition that they put together, and high school teachers submit their students' work.
The gallery gives students opportunity to view art from young talent across Oklahoma.
Far today, I think we've had a couple of the students come through who've created the work. As far as UCO students go, people just kind of filter in and out whenever they have time.
The top 10 senior portfolios earn scholarships and prizes. On average, 700 to 1,000 artworks are submitted, and approximately 150 to 200 are selected for the Young Talent in Oklahoma Showcase.
The event is from today through April 8th, and the gallery hours are Monday through Wednesday 12 to 5, and then Thursday 12 to 7:30.
When you visit the Melton Gallery to check out this showcase, you might find inspiration in trying to make some art yourself.
I think so. I think art is a really important form of self-expression, especially like constantly being busy and having to deal with school stuff. You know, you get to have an outlet. So I love seeing all of the young, talented artists that the state has.
From Edmond, Oklahoma, I'm Tristan Pipkin, UCentral News.
Thank you very much, Tristan. And as we alluded to earlier, conditions are pretty moist outside.
Yeah, they certainly are. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to toss it over to CJ to see what's coming up for the rest of the week and see if any more rain's coming up. CJ, what do you got for us?
That's right, Patrick. We definitely have had a couple of wild weather days around the state here in Oklahoma over the past couple of days. However, most of that stuff is going to move on as we start to go into next week. Let's go ahead and take a look at our weather headlines coming up for next week. In the forecast, we do have a lot of wind and sun on the horizon. Now, that front that's moving in from the northwestern United States is going to make its way through Oklahoma over the next couple of days, and with it, that's going to bring some more winds and some colder temperatures as well. But however, going into next week, once that front makes its way fully out of the state, we are going to return to our normal springtime temperatures of mid-70s to 80 degrees. Let's go ahead and take a look at current conditions around the state of Oklahoma right here. And as you can see, in central Oklahoma, where the majority of the rain has been, temperatures are lower, but in northern and southern Oklahoma, you haven't seen as much of that rain as we have here in central. So that's why Oklahoma City sitting at about 60 degrees, Clinton 58. Lawton sitting down there at about 68 degrees. Pretty warm, and Idabel too sitting at about 73. So overall, pretty cool around the state of Oklahoma, ranging from cool to warm. Let's go ahead and take a look at our lows for tonight here in Edmond. Tonight's forecast, 49 degrees is going to be our low with some scattered storms throughout the night. Now, these storms aren't going to be very long storms. They are going to be very sporadic, very on and off storms going into tonight. The winds are going to die down just a little bit too, blowing at about eastern 5 to 10 mile per hour, and the humidity is going to remain the same at about 80%, and we do have a 60% chance of rain in Edmond here tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at lows around the state of Oklahoma. And as you can see, the temps are definitely starting to drop significantly than what we've used to been seeing. 49 in the metro, 43 in Enid, 39 up there in Guyman. So it's definitely going to get a lot colder tonight, and going into the next couple of days, we're going to see the temps start to drop, especially at the nighttime. Now let's go ahead and take a look at tomorrow's highs for around the state. Tomorrow is going to be one of the last days this week where we do have that warmer temperature. So Oklahoma City sitting at about 77 degrees. Majority of the state, it's going to feel pretty warm tomorrow, but that's going to change very quickly as that front makes its way into Oklahoma. Let's go ahead and take a look at your daily forecast here in Edmond for tomorrow. So at 7 a.m., we're going to see those clouds start to break, and it's going to be 50 degrees. So in the morning, you might want to bring out a jacket, something light to cover yourself up with. And then going into the afternoon and noon, the sun is finally going to emerge from behind the clouds, and it's going to start to warm up throughout the day. 63 degrees at noon, and finally coming at about 7 p.m. about our peak temperature for the day, sitting about 77 degrees. So it's going to warm up significantly tomorrow and then drop right back down. Let's go ahead and take a look at our 7-day forecast coming up here really quick. And as you can see, today is the only day that we have that's in this week that we're going to get rain. And then going into next week, as you see, going into Tuesday, 77 degrees. And then on Tuesday night, that's when that cold front's going to make its way through Oklahoma and drop temperatures going into next week. And then on the weekend, on Saturday and Sunday, that's when we're going to rise back up, back into the 70s and 80-degree temperatures. So guys, definitely a cool cooler week ahead, but warmer temperatures are also on the horizon. That's all I have for weather right now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you very much, CJ. And when we come back, Tyler Lursch, UCentral's music junkie, has more with Central Music Scene. Don't go anywhere.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world? You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey,
Hello, and welcome to the Central Music Scene. I'm Tyler Lursch, and I've been a musician for over 10 years, and I'm also involved with the local music scene here in OKC with my own band, Tar Creek. I'll be bringing you all the latest news concerning artists, shows, releases, as well as national music news. Let's get right into it. First for today, Harry Styles has released his first single from his upcoming album, Harry's House. The single is titled As It Was, and is from the album that is set to release May 20th of this year. The single set records on Spotify, taking the place of Olivia Rodrigo's Driver's License as the most streamed song in a single day in 2022 with over 8.3 million listens. The song is reminiscent of British dance pop and also somewhat reminds me of a-ha's Take On Me. I would definitely recommend giving it a listen, and it's one of my favorite pop releases of this year so far. It's available on all streaming services right now. And second for today, local metal supergroup Cell has released their single titled Violent Measures. The band features members from local bands like Peeling Flesh, Antipath, Van Tartax, and Edmond. The track is something different from each band's genre and is interesting to contrast. If you'd like to check out the single, it's available on all streaming services right now. And third for today, experimental rock band from Australia, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, has released their second single from their upcoming album, Omnium Gatherum. The track is titled Magenta Mountain and was released on March 29th and already has over 238,000 listens on Spotify. The track reminds me personally of a combination of Alt-J and early Arctic Monkeys. If you'd like to give it a listen, it's available on all streaming services right now. And finally for today, we have another Australian band releasing a single. 5 Seconds to Summer has released their second single from their upcoming unnamed album that is set to release sometime this year. The single is titled Take My Hand and was released on April 1st. If you'd like to give the track a listen, it's available on all streaming services right now. Well, that's all I have for today. Be sure to check in on Wednesday for this week's lineup of shows around OKC, as well as more music news. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Tyler. And coming up after the break, Peyton Scott will have the rundown for UCO Sports after the break.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision. Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent.
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
In the land of wonder and awe, you won't believe you see what you saw. Where there's something to do for young and for old, where stories are written and then they're retold. Visit travelok.com today. Come see for yourself and come out to play.
Welcome back, Bronco fans. I'm Peyton Scott, and this is your sports update. Central Oklahoma's Kyler Patterson was named Monmouth Turf's MIAA Pitcher of the Week. The league announced today Patterson, a junior from Cushing, Oklahoma, made 3 appearances this week out of the Bronco bullpen, and the right-hander was stunning in his performances. He threw 6 1/3 innings and only allowed 2 hits. He didn't give up a single run, earned or not. Patterson struck out 15 batters of the 19 outs he recorded, and he also just walked 2 individuals over the entire week. After 2 low-scoring contests this weekend that saw both teams win 1 game each, Central Oklahoma and Pittsburg State had a midday Sunday slugfest in the final game of a 3-game MIAA series. Central Oklahoma came out on top with 14, with Pitt State finishing with 11. The Broncos struck out 17 guerrilla batters on Sunday that followed 13 strikeouts in Friday night's win and 10 more strikeouts in Saturday's close loss. The 40 strikeouts this weekend are the most in any series by the Broncos this season, the most since striking out 40 in the 3-game series against Fort Hays State in 2021. Shayla Harper had another outstanding game with 4 hits and 5 runs batted in to spark an offensive assault that carried Central Oklahoma to a doubleheader, sweeping Newman Saturday afternoon in the home series. The number 19th ranked Broncos had 20 runs and 21 hits on the day. UCO collected 11 hits in a 10-4 first game victory, scoring all 10 runs in with 2 outs before rolling to a 10-2 run rule beatdown in the night game behind a 10-hit attack from the Lady Broncos. Central improves to 30-6 on the season and 9-1 in MIAA conference play. With this sweep, it's the 17th time in 48-year history of the program that the Broncos have reached the 30-win mark, including 8 times in the last 9 years. On Saturday night, all eyes were on the Final Four of the Division I National Championships. 4 Blue Bloods played for a chance to play in the national championship tonight. Number 1 seeded Kansas and number 2 seeded Villanova dueled it out first Saturday in New Orleans, with Kansas coming out on top 81-65. The Jayhawks had an explosive showing from the 3-point line, shooting 13 from 24, making 7 in the first half. Ochai Agbaye went 6 for 7 from deep, finishing with 21 points. David McCormick posted a game-high 25 points and 9 rebounds. Colin Gillespie kept Villanova in the game with 17 points, as Brandon Slater added 16 points and 7 rebounds. The main event of the night on Saturday in the Final Four was an iconic battle between 2 of the biggest names in college basketball, Duke and North Carolina. It was Coach Mike Krzyzewski's last game coaching for the Duke Blue Devils, who has been the head coach there for the last 42 years. The 8th-seeded Tar Heels played spoiler on Saturday night, upsetting the number 2-seeded Devils 81-77. Leading the way for the Tar Heels with 28 points was Caleb Love. Love hit a 3 with 30 seconds left in the second half that would be the eventual dagger in the hearts of Duke fans everywhere. The 8th-seeded Tar Heels will play the number 1-seeded Kansas Jayhawks tonight in the finals of the Division I National Championships in New Orleans at 8:20. That's all I have for today. Don't forget to check out broncosports.com for everything UCO athletics. Back to Patrick and Jackson at the desk.
Thanks, Peyton. And that was quite an incredible game, but we're going to have to go to a break. On the other side, though, CJ will have one last look at the weather coming up for this week, so stay tuned.
things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world? You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey, Bobo.
Welcome back to UCentral News. And right now in downtown OKC, the Myriad Botanical Gardens is inviting everyone to come see the corpse flower that is blooming in their lobby. The flower only blooms once every 8 to 10 years, and they have extended their lobby hours to 9 p.m. today to allow visitors to come see it. You can visit their Facebook page to view a live feed and find more information. Now we're going to take one last look at weather. CJ, what do you have for us?
Well, thanks, Jackson. Well, coming up in the weather, let's take a look at our 7-day forecast one final time coming up for next week. Now, today is the last day that we're going to see rain for this week. So going into tonight, we could see some scattered showers around the metro area. But going into Tuesday, we're going to see that temps start to rise. And then that's also going to bring a cold front through Oklahoma. That's going to bring colder temperatures and more wind going into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then, however, on Saturday, we are going to make a return back up to the 70-degree mark, and then going into Sunday, we are going to return to the 80-degree mark as well. So we're going to go from being cold back to being very warm again. Can't say much. That's Oklahoma weather for you guys. That's all I have for weather right now. I'm going to throw it back to Jackson and Patrick at the desk.
Thanks, CJ. And yeah, we have certainly needed all this rain that we have gotten. I know that our yards have needed it, farmers have needed it, and then some of the golf courses that you and I like to go play have certainly needed it. So we're certainly grateful for all this rain. I am excited to see those 80s at the end of the week, though.
Me too. And one of the things we are seeing is the storms rolling through. We had quite a bit of thunder and lightning. Last night. We're seeing some scattered showers today as well. But like you said, we're looking forward to seeing that green come into play, seeing that green grass coming back in. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how the weather
And as you mentioned
out.
with those storms, just keep an eye on the weather. Tune into all your news stations. We'll keep you covered here at UCentral, but tune into some other stations that have more up-to-date information than we sometimes can offer. But that's all the time we have for you guys today. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Patrick Talbot.
And I'm Jackson Rowbottom. Have a great night.
Stay safe, Broncos.